Hello and welcome to this taste challenge, late morning taste challenge. We have 1855 Henry McKenna sour mash Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, 80 proof. Age, don't know, no age statement. We know it's at least 4 years old. It's now a Heaven Hill brand. I bought this at Majoria's for $8.99, $8.99. You can still get it at Total Wine for 50 cents more. The competitor from Brown-Forman. This is Louisville, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, 82.2 proof, so 41.1% alcohol. Brown-Forman Cooperage, Louisville, established 1945. They make their own barrels, but anyway, this is a brand introduced in honor of that. They also make 100 proof, which I've not had, but I know where to find it. Cooper's Craft. This will run you about $24 at Total Wine. Like I said, this is $9.50. I paid $8.99 for this. I paid $9.99 for this. Is that the normal price? Obviously not. Mathern's had it. I didn't know what it was supposed to cost. I said, well, $9.99 seems strangely cheap. So I did some research and I immediately went back and bought it because I said, I'm not, I never would have bought it. I wouldn't have paid $24 for it, not knowing anything about it. I started seeing billboards about this around 2016. Like I was leaving football games in New Orleans. I would drive down Interstate 10 and I would see these billboards. I said, I don't know what Cooper's Craft is. But then I found out it was made by Brown-Forman. So there's at least two versions. The original, which I have, not hard to find, and the 100 proof, which I don't have, and I'm probably not going to get. Now, you want to try a weird beer? Here is Bourbon County Stout. It's called Wheat Wine. It's cinnamon. It's made with cinnamon, apples. It's aged in Larceny, Heaven Hill Larceny bourbon barrels, and it has natural caramel flavor added. It's 14.6% alcohol. It's a knockout beer. They say it's 60 IBUs, but to me it doesn't taste like it's 30. But here's what it looks like. I didn't know what to make of it. I was doing a review and I couldn't figure it out. The review is going to be long because that's no lacing. What do you expect? 14.6. But I couldn't pin it down, and then it hit me. I said, "Oh, they're trying to make it taste like cinnamon Apple Jacks. All it needs now is milk." You say, well, why would anybody pay $14.99 for a beer that's going to taste like cinnamon Apple Jacks? Well, I paid that much because I wanted to try it. I mean, I can get flavored beer for $2.49 a 23.5 ounce can, but it's going to be Four Loko and it's going to be low quality relative to this, but not terrible either. I mean, I'll admit that, but questionable to say the least. So the Bourbon County was only questionable in the sense of like, why would you make that? I mean, we understand that some kind of a renegade beer company is making flavored concoctions of every sort of crazy flavor. It's pretty obvious what they're doing there. But, why does the great Bourbon County, who makes 100 out of 100 imperial stouts, bourbon barrel aged, want to get into like cinnamon apple crisp? You know what I mean? Like breakfast cereal concoction beer. I don't know. I don't care. It doesn't offend me. But I don't necessarily understand it. Okay, but I'm not troubled by it. Oh well, I paid $14.99 plus tax. I'll get over it. Now the good thing about these whiskeys is I paid kind of like the same price, and I can rest and taste on them for months and even years. Can sip, taste, sip, taste, sip, taste. Whereas the Bourbon County, that's it. After today, it's over. Never again. So my friend Paul said that's what is good about spirits, whiskey and rum and all that, because you can keep it forever. You can put the cap back on and retaste it a year later or whatever. But beer, you got to drink it. It's going to go flat. It's going to be horrible, so you got to drink it. I said, yeah, it's true. I can't argue with that. I mean, I really, really cannot argue with that. All right, so let's go. Neither one of these has an age statement. So I think I saw a video from Cooper's Craft saying it was aged between like 6 and 9 years, or was it 7 and 9 years? Let me see if I'll put that in my notes, because I keep my notes online, actually. Let's see. Cooper's Craft. Here we go. It's weird. Nothing coming up. Should be in there. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter, but there's no age statement, so I'm not gonna worry. I know I know that when I saw the video, the lady, the brand representative from Brown-Forman, was saying something like 5 to 7. It's like 5 to 7 or 7 to 9. But anyway, it's age, at least 4 years. So it doesn't have an age statement. Now, my friend David, he's like militant, I guess, and he's like, I had that stuff. It's terrible. That's just trash, and crap. And I was like, look, Mathern's had it for really cheap. I bought it. Okay. Whether it's good or bad, I don't know. I figure it ain't going to hurt. So I tried it. I reviewed it. I tasted it. I said, this is not bad. I was like, what are you talking about? It's not bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's certainly not bad. I mean, to me, bad tastes bad. A bad whiskey tastes bad. If it's just kind of blah or ho-hum, well, okay, blah and ho-hum, but it doesn't mean it's bad. Anyway, Henry McKenna. I talked to my friend David on the phone today, and I was telling him about this. He said, it's probably up to like $12 now, huh? I said, no, because he was talking about with inflation and everything. I said, no, interestingly, I said, Total Wine still has it for $9.49. And he was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go buy some. He's not kidding either. Believe me. So Cooper's Craft, yeah, I mean, I got a great deal on it. I got it for like less than half price. So why wouldn't I have bought it? The answer is I would have bought it. For that price, I will buy it. So if Mathern's comes out with one of these every week and they're $9.99, I'll buy them every week. And I'll have a stash and I'll never get through it. They're not going to do that, but I'm just saying theoretically. It's nice embossed, labeled, just like that Bourbon County Stout I was telling you about. We do ourselves. What matters most, and all of that sloganeers. So, these are the people that make Jack Daniels. These are the people that make Old Forester. All right. Charcoal filtered finish, and they blended through beech and birch charcoal, not maple. Jack Daniels uses sugar maple. This company, Brown-Forman, this division of it uses birch, charcoal, and beech, birch and beech. Toasted barrels. So, has it really caught on? Nah. Is it really popular? You hear people talking about Cooper's Craft? I don't. But is it a nice little product to buy? Absolutely. Appearance. Well, the Cooper's Craft is a lot darker. It's amber, whereas this is gold. This is going to count for Wednesday. Okay, so I'm not going to have time tomorrow. I mean, I could fit it in, but I was like, I'm just going to do the taste challenge today, and then Wednesday I'll just concentrate on edging the yard and on our Wednesday night thing about a beer from your state, which I have a beer from my state. I was thinking about coming up in a week or so, the blended American whiskey. Blended American. I have something called, I got it at Trader Joe. Total Wine. It's called Bay Street. Bay Street. Right. Nobody drinks that. It was really cheap, and it's made by Caribbean distillers in Auburndale, Florida, which used to be I think a Seagram's plant, but it's independent today. They make well, they make a lot of interesting products. Some of the products they make are rather well known, you know, common products that people buy all the time. But most of them are obscure. But there's a liqueur they make that every store sells it. It's a kind of flavored spice rum. And the funny thing about Caribbean distillers who make all kind of obscure and, if you want to say, questionable products, suspect products, whatever, they're a member of the Rums of Puerto Rico trade group. The Rums of Puerto Rico, Bacardi, Don Q, a lot of really well-known brands that are loved by people all around the world. But Caribbean distillers got one of their brands in there, and all they had to do is follow the guidelines, pay the whatever the membership dues are every year, and they bottle it in Auburndale, Florida, but it's produced in Puerto Rico. It's aged at least a year, so I mean, hey. But that's coming up. I don't know what to think about it. The reviews for it were very positive on well, the Total Wine website. And Total Wine does not write their own reviews. They just, whoever you can get on there and make an account, which is simple to do. Write a review. They'll post it. I mean, as long as you're not like insane, cursing, screaming, saying, and nutty things, they're gonna post it. Like if you just post a review, you don't have to like it. Just say, well, I don't really like this. It's got a sharp aftertaste. It's unpleasant to me. Whatever. They'll post it. They're not gonna. If you say something insane, they're not gonna post it. But then they should not have to tell you that. Just stick to the review. You say, but I'm trying to let people know about people need to be aware of yeah, well, why are you putting that in a whiskey or rum review? Why don't you put that on Facebook? They might not block it. All right. Smells like whiskey. Does it smell like toasted barrels? A little bit, actually. Like if you made toast, medium level. It's kind of like that. This one smells like regular old bourbon, like sugar water, which means sugar water, vanilla, mild charred oak. Everything about the Heaven Hill, George, I keep saying that. I don't know why that got in my head. Henry McKenna is mild. Is there anything about it that's erudite, exceptional, exquisite, unbelievable? No, but then why would you think it would have those characteristics if it's $9.49 a bottle at Total Wine? You would have to have a child's mentality to think that. And then furthermore, I don't think a child would think that, unless they were dull in the mind. If things are really cheap, it's probably for a reason. But it doesn't mean they're horrendously bad either. Sometimes they are. All right, so aroma, not really that different, but still a little bit different. A little toasted, like toasted wood, beech and birch. Okay, but that's the charcoal, not the barrels. Just kind of like not anything there. just a mild vanilla, mild oak, mild sugar water, which is making me think McKenna. Taste. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. I know, but I don't want you to know what I'm thinking. I want you to think you don't know what I'm thinking. All right. Well, I think I can tell them apart, but I'll say this much. I don't know why a person would want to pay $24 for Cooper's Craft, which is fine. No knock against it. Jack Daniels, $24, whatever. You know, it's all it was about the same price. But why would you want to pay that? When you can get Henry McKenna, which gets no advertising attention, is discussed by basically no one. I'm not talking about this small batch 10-year age. That's a niche thing, and people run behind that and go look and track it down. They don't make that all the time, and it's hard to find. In fact, Total Wine didn't even have it listed on the website. Mathern's had it, didn't last. McKenna, run-of-the-mill, not sold in this parish. I can find it in New Orleans. No one talks about it. No one cares about it, including me. But then on the other hand, you ever hear people talking about Cooper's Craft? I don't. I don't. I hear people talking about Crown Royal. I hear people talking about Jack Daniels in the sense that they'll say, "It's Friday. I'm going to drink some Crown this weekend." There's a guy that delivers milk to a store. I know about this. So I'm like, "Y'all take care. I'm going to have some Crown this weekend." And I said, "Well, how much Crown you drink?" He said, "Man, sometimes I drink the whole bottle on a Saturday." I say, "An entire bottle on a Saturday?" I said, "You think that's a good idea?" He doesn't really care what I say, but I mean, I'm thinking, that's a good idea. But people talk about it. We're going to get some Crown. We're going to get some Jack Daniels. We're going to get some Hennessy. That's the three things I hear about in Louisiana. Jack Daniels, but really the first two is Crown and Hennessy. I hear people at least once a month saying, "We're going to drink some Crown," meaning the regular Crown Royal, not any of their specialties. You know that. And they go and drink some Hennessy. It ain't going to be Hennessy Black. It ain't going to be Hennessy VSOP Privilege. It's not going to be the Hennessy Distiller Masters blend. Any of those. It's going to be the regular old Hennessy VS, the cheap one, you know, which ain't really cheap because of the name recognition. But you know what I'm saying? That's what people talk about. Now, Cooper's Craft, maybe one person a year you'll hear talk about Cooper's Craft, but probably you won't hear them talk about that. Henry McKenna, like you're literally not going to ever hear anyone talk about that in your life unless you watch this video. You might, and the chances are not particularly good, but you might hear somebody talk about Henry McKenna small batch 10-year age. What is that? 100 proof bottle and bond white label? I mean, you might. You're probably not going to, but you might. Okay, so which one tastes better? This one's fine. I mean, it's sugar water like most whiskeys. It's mellow, mild, easygoing. Tastes like toasted oak. It's fine. I would not take exception to it. Like, I don't know why my friend David was like, "That's terrible. That stuff's no good." I was like, "What do you mean? It's not? It's maybe a little dull, but it's not no good." To me, it takes a long. In a way, it's harder to make a bad whiskey than to make a good whiskey. You know what I mean? Like, chances are, if there's some problem with it, it'll just be bland. Like, it's kind of bland. And then if it's really good, it'll have all kind of unique characteristics. But I mean, think about it. Do you ever taste whiskeys that are like literally horrible? I haven't. I've tasted some that are like, you know, not that good and you could just ignore them, but they're not like horrible. You can't drink it. So now what you say, what about beer? Oh yeah. There are beers that are like literally horrible. You cannot drink them. Well, I couldn't drink them. You might. I wasn't going to go through that. Is it a lot? No, there isn't too many, but they're out there and they're terrible. And thankfully, they're not sold in Louisiana. Well, we get earthquake, but it's a 10% earthquake. And that's not a good one. You say, what if you drink it 10 times every year? You'll get one good one and the other 9 will be bad. That's true, which is an indictment against their quality control. But the 12%, just be glad if you never see it and you never try it. But with whiskey, yeah, you don't really get any bad ones. You just get like less good ones. Like it's like sort of okay. It's okay. It's pretty nice. It's good. It's really good. It's excellent, and so on. Yeah, it tastes like a Henry Hill. Henry Hill. Okay, Henry Hill. I'm just listening. It tastes like a Heaven. It tastes like a Heaven Hill product. I don't actually know how to quantify what I mean by that. Heaven Hill products do tend to have a stereotypical flavor, which is hard to pin down, but it's like, well, I know that flavor. You say, well, you're drinking T.W. Samuels. Yeah, I just had to blend it. I should have bought that straight bourbon. I was in Pascagoula, Mississippi, and I didn't buy it. Bothers me now, but I didn't get it. But oh well. But Quality House, Heaven Hill Quality House. Well, just all of them. They just have this sort of flavor. It's hard to. It's kind of like Miller beers. Like if you drink a beer from Miller, you know it's from Miller, but you can't explain why. People say, "What do you mean? What do you mean?" And you're saying, "I don't know," but you're saying, you know how Miller beers taste like a certain way, and then somebody might say, "I never had a Miller beer." Well, I mean, who hasn't had that? But you know what I'm saying? Like then you can't describe it because they never had it. Let's see if this has a Brown-Forman in-house style. I don't think Brown. Sazerac for sure. All the Sazerac whiskeys taste like one like the other. And Heaven Hill, yeah. And Jim Beam, yeah. What about Brown-Forman? Not too sure. But I'm getting that toasted oak. What about the beech and birch charcoal filtering? I know that's a selling point for them, but I'm not really necessarily detecting that. If they were using sugar maple or oak, I don't think I'll really be able to tell it apart. $24 a bottle. Yeah, I'd buy it. Yeah, it's worth it. $24 a bottle. Yeah, what the heck? Buy it. But I got it for $9.99. I got it for $9.99. Henry McKenna. Is it worth the $9? Sure. I got it for $8.99. So who's the winner? I guess Henry McKenna wins again because it doesn't ever pull ahead and win. You know what I mean? It doesn't like catch up with the more expensive whiskey and then pull ahead and run away with it. Like, oh wow, I can't believe they won. It's not like that. But what you're saying to yourself is, I can't believe they tied. I can't believe Henry McKenna actually tied. That I maybe can tell them apart, but I cannot honestly say one is better than the other. Which that's a bit of a shock, because this is a product. It gets no attention. You ain't never going to see a billboard for Henry McKenna. Well, I saw billboards for the Cooper's Craft. I mean, like literally big billboards. Cooper's Craft, those kind where they're lit up like electronic billboards, and they keep changing the every 30 seconds. And then I saw some on the paper billboards. They don't change unless you take them down manually. But I saw Cooper's Craft, and I was like, "What is Cooper's Craft?" And I didn't care. I said, "Some new product." And I remember thinking to myself, probably owned by somebody, trying to make it look like it's some independent company. But sure enough, I found out about it. They did a promotion. Henry McKenna, are you going to see billboards? You're not going to see no billboards for Henry McKenna. Now, you might, although you probably won't, but you might, by some extraordinary luck of the draw, go into a convenience store. See, in Louisiana, we don't have liquor stores, really. We have convenience stores, which all sell liquor. We have a very liberal liquor law in Louisiana, meaning everybody sells beer, wine, and liquor. Gas stations, convenience stores, grocery stores, and anything else you can think of. So you might go into one of those and see a Henry McKenna placard, like a little thing. This month only, Henry McKenna. But in reality, you probably will not see that. So it sells. Does it sell? Is it like a big winner? No. Does it sell enough to where they're making money every month? Oh, yes. And they've probably been doing that since 1855. You know what I mean? Like, not a whole lot of people buy it. You're not going to watch Dean Martin roast where they're drinking Henry McKenna. They could be drinking Jack Daniels on that. But it's bringing in money. It's bringing in a steady income. Now, Cooper's Craft, is that a success? It's been 5 years now. I'm not sure if that's a success. I think it's probably like not a success. But anyway, time to call it. Yeah, it's fine. I think that's Cooper's Craft. Oh, it's the Henry McKenna. Just never ends. I had so many problems with the rye whiskey. I did the Seagram's. Crown Royal, which used to be Seagram's till 2000. I did the I did the Crown Royal Northern Harvest Rye, Diageo. Very nice product. But then when I put it into taste challenges with the other rye whiskeys, half the time I could not tell it apart. I kept getting it wrong. I was so embarrassed, and I said, But so it didn't pull away and win, but wasn't doing bad. The only question there was, do you really want to pay $30 for Crown Royal Rye when you could pay maybe, I guess the cheapest rye whiskey you could get would be $20. So, why pay $10 more? I wouldn't do it. Oh, that's right. You can get the old Overholt for $17. Yeah. Why would I pay $30 when I can get a rye whiskey from Kentucky for $17? The answer is I wouldn't pay $30. So Crown Royal was nice, but like so many products, I wouldn't pay the extra money. I'd just get old Overholt. Now this thing here, it's like I could not tell them apart. They both tasted good, but I could not. That's confounding. That's confusing, really, because I thought, well, at least this one you'll get it right, but I did not. So, so which one of these would I rather drink? Both. You say, well, both. You haven't made a choice. Well, actually, I have made a choice, because I'm not going to pay $25 for Cooper's Craft. I'm not going to pay $25 for Cooper's Craft when I cannot tell it apart from McKenna, Henry McKenna Sour Mash Kentucky Bourbon Whiskey. I mean, and I can pay $8.99 or $9.50, and I got to pay $24 for that. I'm gonna let you spend the extra $15, because I know I ain't. So anyway, do I like Cooper's Craft? Sure. Could I tell it apart from Henry McKenna? No. Could not tell it apart. It's either me being a bad taster or the products not being that different. I think it's the fact that the products are not that different. Could it be that I'm a bad taster? It could be that, but I don't think it is that. So once again, and this has been going on for literally years, 1, 2, 3, now going on to 4 years, where these inexpensive, obscure products are either not losing to the major brand, or in the worst case, they're just tying. Now, do they lose sometimes? Sometimes they lose, but it's very rare. It's a very rare occurrence. Most of the time, they either tie or they win. And a tie is a win when you're looking at a major price difference. If I'm paying $12 for a bourbon and the other one is $32 and it's a tie, then 12 wins. And this goes on and on and on. It doesn't stop. My opinion is that it could be a blip. You say, well, you only started 4 years ago. If you do it for 20 more years, it's going to change. It could be the case. I don't think that will happen. I think what we're going to notice over the next 10, 20, 30 years is that it'll be the same pattern. You'll get one that's $30 and one that's $10, and there ain't much difference. Now, you can figure that out, right? Right. Thanks for watching this video production. I think the next one coming up is Ancient Age 10-star or something like that. Ancient Age 10-star or one of those brands. But, you know, I got a lot of stuff lined up. My drinking buddy. Cheers, Drewski Brewski. Drewski Brewski. Well, you see, there's a little problem there. You're saying my drinking buddy, but I'm more like a tasting buddy. I'm tasting the products where you are going against my advice. And what was my advice? You should drink what? What did I say? You need to drink a lot of what? Did I say rum? No. Did I say you need to drink more brandy? No. Did I say you need to drink more whiskey? No. What did I say? On a day-to-day basis, hour by hour, you need to drink more. You can do it. You can say it. You can achieve it. You need to drink more water. Water is good for you. Water is good for you.